This is Sven from Cheap Sheep Games. I've got something very exciting to share. Today 2 parcels came from the factory in delivering some white samples for the game Crimopolis. So we've got 2 parcels. One is a set of Meeples. I look into those actually right now. They came first. They look like this. We had a pretty close look at those and they look actually quite amazing. So this is what you're gonna get in your game. You get little tiny gravestones. They look like this. They have quite nice details when they cut out, and you have gangsters. They come in 5 different shapes. So that is the blue gangster, quite a bright color, not dull and muddy. So here is a yellow gangster with a little gun in the hand. This is our Tommy gun, one in red, bright red. Here's a green gangster, a lady, a female, and we have another lady who is in purple, also with a gun in her hand. So this is the Meeples you're gonna get. So 50 of those gangsters in each game and 40 of those gravestones in each game. I put them aside. I haven't had a look into the new box, which has the wine sample in it. So the first thing, which is bad news for us, which is good news for everyone who wants a copy of this game, I've got a scale here. We have actually calculated that the game is supposed to weigh 2 kilograms or less for shipping. So now let's have a look at this. I'll put the box on it, the way it came. I don't know really what's in it, and maybe it will be eventually less than 2 kg, but if you look at this, we're actually beyond the 2 kg mark, which means that there's a little bit of a problem for us to solve in terms of getting the costs under control to get these shipped to you guys, especially over there in the United States and in Europe. So let's have a look what's inside this box. Let's open this one. Look at this, a white sample as expected from a white sample. So white sample means you get most game components and the quality and with the material as you want to have them eventually in your game, but the prints are missing for those. So let's have a look. Here's a little bit of possibly just sample damage. So not sure whether you can really see this with the game. So the box is going to be a, oh, you can't really see this. This is a shame. It's a very, very sweet linen structure, linen texture on top of that, on top and bottom part. See, looked into something that is a bit more vintage. So this is a, actually I'm kind of curious, what is this box weighing just by itself? Let's have a look. Game on top of it. So even that game at the moment without printing in anything is already over 2 kg. Oh great, we're gonna solve this. We'll see how it works. Or maybe we don't put the church in it everyone is waiting for. How about that? No, the church is gonna come, no worries. So let's have a look. I'm super excited seeing actually what's going on here. Ah, I see. Okay, cool. Maybe the weight might be a problem to solve later. Of course, that's not going to be part in the game, so we'll take this out. This is just wrapping. So these are the cards. They obviously came also blank cards in 6 packs here, just to give us a feeling of what's going on. Looking at those, actually, they come in different linen texture. So we talked with the factory in terms of we want to have a very specific old rustic vintage looking linen, and now looking at those, actually this is not a complete set of cards we're going to get, so maybe that explains the weight. But we get quite a few nice different options here in terms of linen that we can have. I'll just open one of them. We'll go into those or through those in a later stage, how they really look like. So let's have a look. This is when they come. We'll see whether we can get this actually nicely shown up, whether we can see the texture on the screen. See this? So this is one of the options. We'll pick something that feels quite nice and that makes a lot of sense, so that they can be handled in a nice way. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll take those out for a second, put the cards on the side. It's actually quite exciting having some options here to choose from rather than just looking from pictures. This is a proto of the rulebook. So it's not going to look exactly like this, but you get a feeling for it, how it looks like. And it's also a matte surface. This is our honors page, which we redesigned based on what you saw on the Kickstarter with all of the people who helped us getting this one done. We have some printouts here. Looking through this is actually looking nice. Gosh, I'm already excited. I'm curious and keen to actually put this into people's hands. That has actually improved quite a lot in the meanwhile since we sent those samples through to the factory, the digital files. So it feels like quite nice and soft as well. It's pretty sweet, so that's cool. So I'll put this aside as well. So here's what's called the cards almanac. So this is still to be finished. This is only a sample to get a feeling for how the paper looks like and how big it actually is. So it's going to be on top of what the rule book is. So it's like 4 pages. When you open that, you're going to see here all of the fortune cards, all of the newsflash cards, and have them explained. All is wrong, most of them actually, and some other information on top of that. So I'll put this aside, and here comes all of the punch out boards, and I reckon this explains the weight indeed. So I reckon we gotta live with this. So this is all of the punch outs. So despite this is considered a white sample, they put already a printing on it. It's actually quite cool. So this is how it looks like. So it gives you a bit of a feeling. They already will have, or also will have, a linen on it. You possibly can't really see that. The one that's been used here is not the one we want to use, so we possibly tweaked it at some stage. So these are the tiles on the back. These are the tiles on the front, so punch them out. Oh gosh, I'm gonna like them. Yeah, this is high density cardboard as well. We asked for a specific high density cardboard so they can be used for a long time. They are nicely centered printed on top of that, so there's nothing offset too much. It looks actually quite solid. I'm pretty impressed seeing this. So have expected for a first sample by far getting by far less. So this is amazing seeing all of them already. So here are the other tiles. Few more, so there's still a bit more redesign done, so we get a few more tweaks on all of those cards, and some of them will be marked in a certain way that you can sort them out in a better way. So let's take those ones away as well. So here's coming the headquarters and the safe houses. These are the final colors as well. So let's get some game figures here. They should be exactly the same color. Look at this. This matches perfectly fine. So I'll see this. They will later on have also in a 1-to-1 size this figure on it. So eventually it would look like this when we print them on the tiles. So for people who have color blind issues, they can actually see the figures straight away what they are playing with. It will sit like an icon on those ones, like this one here. This is actually nice. And this is the clock. Same thing, is actually nearly perfectly centered. It's looking good. Comes in a linen surface as well. Gosh, this is a nice feeling actually. It's not like cheap cardboard. It's really amazing. So I'm fascinated about this. So here is a hand that's gonna sit on this one. Sweet. We've got some pins that are used for the clock. I'll get one in a minute. We can see how this fits together nicely, whether this really sticks. Sweet, of course there seems to be nothing here in this guy. And we have some replacements for you as well, just in case you overuse them or you get them damaged or whatever, so you can use them as well. And there will be space in the box where you can store them nicely without losing them over time. So this is the 2-layer punch board. So you'll have a look if you see this in detail. So this is like 2-layer board that comes with a base board and a lifted first board where all of the tiles from the church and the walls from the graveyard will fit in. So those little holes are here to actually, you see one here as well, to interlock the walls nicely into that board. And on the bottom side you'll see actually how that works in terms of folding them around. I show this in a minute how it looks like. And we are having here on the back side of this board a cutout where eventually the clock will fit in. So this nicely fits into this. When you store the game away, the clock will sit on top eventually, purely for space reasons, so that you can fit this in without the clock actually floating around and actually damaging itself when you handle the box in a bit more rough way, like in a car. So all of that will be really neatly tucked away in your board game eventually, in your game box eventually. So I really like this. This is sturdy, has the linen surface again, so it's still a bit glossy. Got to double check with the factory whether we can get this somehow sorted that it doesn't do too glossy. Here'll be numbers around. This is already designed. There will be grass and all of it. Here will be a little bit of garden, some pebbles, and this is a little punch out as well. We've took on board because this board will be in the box like this eventually, sitting on top, and when you want to get it out, put your finger just in here, get this easily out without actually squeezing boxes like this. Nice, this is actually pretty cool. Like it the way it came out. And then we have 3 punch outs coming here for the church. Actually, this explains maybe the white. We got them twice. Once as a white sample, which is this, and once as a currently printed sample, which is that. Gosh, I love it. So ignore that it's currently white. This is going to be all printed on how to put the church together. It's 24 pieces to get them all done. I'll put the white sample here away. They used a different linen as well in terms of what options we have. So this is the standard linen you find in many games. We asked for something that is again more vintage, and let's see whether you can see this. This is same like with the cards, really nice linen that goes all around these tiles. So when you eventually get this one, so the entire church, the entire game board, the double layer board here as well, this one is going to be of that quality. That is great. This is really awesome. I'll show you something. So what we've decided is some of those tiles, this is a wall, I'll show you the graphic in a second, have a half deep cut, which is this little one. So when you turn this around, it's actually not completely punched through. So when you take this out, I'll take this part out, which is a wall, then you can eventually fold this around one side. I'll show you this how it works. So these walls, they go into the game board like this. So once you've got this, you set this up, you put them through the little holes that are in the board, turn this around and fold the bottom part away like this and that, and then it nicely sits in these holes where it belongs to, and then you get a sticker that comes with the game. It seems to be missing here as well, and that sticker will be pretty much fitting around this one and holds this part nicely in shape, in place. So which means when you get the part like this here, it actually cannot be, look at this, it cannot be taken out. It's pretty solid and will be solidly sitting in this board. Gosh, I like it. The space is really good. It feels quite neat. Got to check this in detail how it works like, but it's looking really good. So let's have a look at the last 2 pieces here. One is the colored version of your church. You see here the gate to the graveyard when you come in. This is the cross that sits on top, and if you look at the other part, we're having some new parts included, which many of you possibly haven't seen. You get sweet looking gargoyles on the side, a look a bit different than the original ones. We have some wooden elements that you can see from the inside of the church. We have now a 3D door, which is this one here that's gonna sit in front of the building. I'm gonna build one sample up and show you how this actually looks like. This is awesome. And if you have a very close look, we also provide you with, let me look at this in detail, with 2 extra tiles if you want to draw your own stuff into the game. So rather than just dealing with the ones you get from the game, which is these ones, you can actually draw your own ones. So we'll bring you 2 which you can use for your own gameplay you really want. Alright, that is what the unboxing of this box is. A few parts still missing. I'll talk with this with the factory to get this all sorted. And yeah, the clock is really looking good, and I'll give this a go in a minute, but I have a funny feeling this is going to work really nicely. Good, so that is the unboxing of the white sample of Crimopolis from Cheap Sheep Games. We'll feeding back to the factory a few details when we investigated all of the details a little bit, and we'll take some cool photo shots for the next Kickstarter update for everyone who's interested in this. Alright, thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed it, and once the final sample comes, maybe in a few weeks, I'll shoot another video and we have a look how the final sample will really look like. Thanks for watching, bye!